While San Francisco has had some truly great draft classes under John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, this year's class might be the most talented. Not only do they have several rookies starting, but they also pulled off the biggest steal of the entire draft, picking up Dominick Puni in the 3rd round. So far, he doesn't just look like an all-pro guard, he has the stats to back it up. According to PFF, for instance, he's currently the 9th highest graded guard across the entire NFL and still hasn't given up a single sack on the year. So in this video, I wanted to break down his performance alongside San Francisco's other offensive linemen. But before we get into any of them, we need to start out with their guard in Puni, who's the ideal mix of size and speed for the 49ers. He's not the biggest guard, coming in at 6'5", weighing 313 pounds, but he routinely is able to manhandle defensive linemen. But he's not just dominant there, as Kyle Shanahan also loves to get him out in open space so he can utilize his athleticism to square up smaller linebackers and defensive backs. So while Puni's not the biggest or the fastest, he offers the versatility San Francisco loves out on offensive linemen. He's like the Deebo Samuel of this group. He can really do it all, whether that be pulling up to the 2nd level or kicking out your biggest defensive lineman. So while Dominick Puni is a rookie that was just selected in the 3rd round, he's playing more like a vet. One area in which Dominick Puni shows this is his proficiency at executing hook blocks. On these plays, he's able to routinely beat a defender's interior leverage, then flip his hips to cut them off from making the play. On this play, for instance, look how Jarran Reed, the defensive tackle, is on the outside shoulder of Dominick Puni in what is called a 3 technique. So Reed therefore on this play has a half a step on Puni to anything they want to do on the outside, and it just so happens San Francisco is running an outside zone concept with Puni stepping to the outside trying to cut off Jarran Reed from this play. Regardless of this massive advantage though on this play, Puni is able to beat Reed to the outside and then execute his hook block to perfection. And you can see just how effective this is for a running back. He now has the ability to cut it back inside of Puni or bounce it to the outside. Now with San Francisco running a zone concept opposite of Puni's side, he's asked to execute a hook block even more challenging than last time. On this play, he's responsible for hooking the defensive tackle in Johnathan Hankins, who's lined up directly over the center in what's called a 0 technique. So rather than having a half a step on Puni, he may have a couple of steps in this case. But Puni once again on this play, it shows that he's an all-pro talent as he's able to hook Hankins and cut him off from making the play. Puni doesn't just hook defensive linemen, but also linebackers and defensive backs, who should be able to outrun him on paper. But Puni is able to routinely get to the 2nd level and spring massive runs. While Jordan Mason has been great on this year, a lot of his longest runs are because of Puni. To highlight this point, on Isaac Guerendo's longest run of the day, Puni is able to make it up to the 2nd level, which essentially springs this run. This goes from maybe a 10-15 yard run to nearly a touchdown. And we have to realize that this is all from a 3rd round rookie, so with more experience, he actually should improve as a player. But one area he may find it hard to improve on is his pass blocking, as he's given up 0 sacks on the year. One thing that makes him so effective in his pass blocking is his ability to neutralize pass rush moves with his hand fighting. On this touchdown throw from Brock Purdy, for instance, Puni is able to eliminate Leonard Williams' initial pass rush move, which looks like a swim, by grabbing his outside hand. But he doesn't stop there, as he also ties in his feet on this play, which eliminates the 2nd hump move by sliding with Williams rather than keeping his feet planted. The one thing that most offensive linemen really struggle with as a rookie especially is their playing strength. But my early concerns for Puni haven't really shown up on tape, as he has plenty of strength to prove he's an all-pro player. Here for instance, Puni is going up against the veteran defensive tackle Johnathan Hankins, who comes in at a massive 325 pounds, but Puni isn't driven back at all and is able to hold his ground. And then when you pair it with his athleticism, you can also ask him to pull across the entire defense and kick out the defensive end. So while Puni is just a 3rd round pick, he already looks like a Pro Bowl guard and may be the draft's biggest steal. Outside of Dominick Puni though, Cole McKivitz has also continued to string together some strong performances. So while there may be no bigger McKivitz critic than me, I have to give credit where credit is due. He's much better than early on in this season, but I still want to see how he holds up against elite pass rushers. In a similar way, their center in Jake Brendel has continued to bounce back as well. In this Seahawks game, I thought he did a great job of really showing off his athleticism, routinely kicking out linebackers. Meanwhile, Trent Williams and Aaron Banks on the left side remain pretty consistent, which is especially impressive given Trent Williams' age. But ultimately, these are just some of my thoughts about San Francisco's offensive line performance and why I think Dominick Puni may be the draft's biggest steal. But I'd like to hear your thoughts down below on Dominick Puni or anyone else that really stood out on San Francisco's offensive line. And it would also mean a ton to me if you could like and subscribe. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.